Late at night, strange things appear where they shouldn't. Creatures caught on patrol cams. Figures hiding just outside the headlights. Tonight, we'll go through a series of real, unsettling recordings, each one more disturbing than the last. From the least terrifying to the final case captured by police that still has no explanation. Stay until the end, because the last sighting is the one no officer ever forgot. Number 15. The Ilkley Moor alien photograph. December 1st, 1987. Ilkley Moor, West Yorkshire, England. A retired British police officer is walking alone through the fog at dawn. On a narrow trail ahead, he notices a small green humanoid figure, about 4 feet tall with an oversized head and thin arms. Instinct takes over. He raises his camera and snaps a single photo. The creature turns, gestures as if warning him to stay back, then runs up the hill and vanishes into the mist. Moments later, the officer claims he sees a silent dome-shaped craft rise from the moor and shoot into the sky. When the photo is developed, it shows a blurry, pale figure on the hillside. Kodak technicians reportedly find no evidence of tampering, but say the image is too grainy to prove anything. Believers call it one of the most convincing alien photos ever taken by a cop. Skeptics insist it could be a person, or just a clever hoax. Number 14. Coahuila, Mexico. Early morning. A convoy of state police vehicles moves along dusty back roads near the Nuevo Leon border. It's nothing but scrub, mesquite, and then something impossible. 3 giraffes running free across the semi-desert right in front of the patrol trucks. The officers from the state reaction group slow down, stunned. There are no zoos, no safari parks in sight, just open land and tall African silhouettes vanishing between the bushes. Radio chatter fills the cabin. No one can explain how long they've been there, or who brought them into this forgotten stretch of Mexico. Some reports suggest escaped exotic animals, adapted over the years to the harsh terrain. But for the officers who filmed it, one question remains. What else is roaming these back roads that no one has reported yet? Number 13. Sandy Springs, Georgia. Officers were searching a wooded area for 2 suspects when one of them swept his flashlight across a quiet patch of trees. Everything seemed routine until something slammed through the bushes with unexpected force. A deer bursts out of the darkness, but it doesn't behave like any normal deer. It charges straight at the officer with sudden, explosive aggression, a reaction that catches even seasoned police completely off guard. The body cam captures the exact moment. The officer stumbling back, confused, as the animal snorts, lowers its head, and bolts back into the forest, as if fleeing from something even more frightening behind it. The Sandy Springs Police Department later released the footage, noting that they had never seen a local deer exhibit such violent or erratic behavior. Was it stress, an illness, or just the worst possible moment for a wild encounter? One thing is certain. That night, while searching for criminals, the officers ended up facing something entirely different. Number 12. A little after 3 a.m., Officer Jesus Vargas and his partner respond to a strange report inside an elementary school. The place is locked, dark, completely empty, at least in theory. As they walk along the outer hallway, the officer's flashlight catches something between the bars. 2 small figures, perfectly still, watching them from the shadows. They look like children, but they don't speak. They don't ask for help. They just stand there, motionless. Vargas asks what they're doing outside at that hour, but the figures don't react. Seconds later, without warning, both children run back toward the classrooms. Silent, featureless, disappearing into the darkness inside the school. The officers head in. There's no one. No footprints, no open doors, no sign that anyone escaped unseen. The video, recorded by the officers themselves, left one unsettling question. If they weren't children, then what exactly was waiting behind those bars? Number 11. An officer patrols a remote area after multiple calls from residents. People claim they've heard the cries of a woman weeping in the middle of the night. The officer moves carefully, sweeping his flashlight across the path. The air is still, unnervingly still. Suddenly, the sound breaks through. A sharp, drawn-out, agonizing wail. It doesn't sound human. The officer freezes, turning toward the direction of the scream, and his vehicle's camera captures his breathing, quickening instantly. Another cry pierces the darkness. The officer steps back, almost stumbling, and decides to hurry back to his patrol car. The dash cam records the exact moment. He climbs into the vehicle in a panic, slamming the door as he keeps his eyes locked on the tree line. Locals always spoke of La Llorona, but whatever produced that sound that night left a trained police officer shaking. Number 10. 3 Minneapolis officers were patrolling a quiet residential neighborhood when something unusual appeared in the sky. At first, it looked like a single light hovering above the houses. Motionless, silent, far too low to be any kind of aircraft. The officers activated their cameras as the object began to rise slowly, almost as if it were surveying the area below. It made no sound. It didn't drift left or right. It simply climbed in a perfectly vertical line. One officer remarked he had never seen a helicopter move like that. Another tried to track it with a camera, but the object dimmed with each passing second, as if fading into the clouds themselves. Then the impossible happened. The light, which had been ascending so calmly, shot across the sky at hyperspeed, crossing the entire field of view in a split second and vanishing completely. No sonic boom, no trail, no plausible explanation, just the testimony of 3 officers and a video showing a maneuver no known aircraft can perform. Number 9. A patrol car was closely following a suspicious vehicle that had blown through a stop sign. The chase continued along a dark, empty road, the driver accelerating unpredictably. Officers activated the dash cam, and everything was captured. The suspect suddenly swerved onto a side path, heading straight toward a metal fence enclosing an industrial lot. The officers expected a hard brake, a skid, something that made sense. But no, the car never slowed down. It hit the fence and passed through it as if it were nothing but smoke. The patrol car arrived barely a second later. The fence stood there completely intact, locked, solid, and without a single dent. The officers stepped out, shining their flashlights across the structure. No impact marks, no tire tracks, no physical way a car could have crossed. They checked the perimeter, the ground, the nearby access points. Nothing. The vehicle had simply vanished. The report later classified the incident as an unexplained escape. But for the officers who witnessed it in real time, that night something crossed a barrier that shouldn't have been crossable. Number 8. During a routine traffic stop, a woman stands beside the patrol car under the direct supervision of a female officer. Everything appears calm, controlled, nothing out of the ordinary.
Got it. Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
All right. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back. Okay. Your registration is in... What the...
Sarah?
What the heck?
The officer turns away for just a moment to check something on the radio. Just 1 second. And when she looks back toward the side of the vehicle, the detainee is gone. No door opening, no footsteps, no shifting shadows, not the slightest sign that someone ran or slipped away. The spot where the woman should be is completely empty. The patrol car's camera catches it perfectly. An instant transition from there to not there. The officer immediately checks the area, looks under the vehicle, around it, behind the patrol car, but there's absolutely nothing. It's as if the detainee had been erased from the scene. without leaving a single physical trace. The police department logged the event as an inexplicable disappearance in custody. To this day, no explanation fits what the video clearly shows. Number 7. A patrol car intercepts a suspicious vehicle driving without headlights through an industrial zone. The officers activate their lights, expecting the driver to pull over, but instead of stopping, he accelerates, as if he knows the area perfectly.
Where'd it go? I don't know, it just vanished. Check the fence line.
The car takes a sharp turn and heads straight toward a metal fence, the only barrier separating the road from a restricted complex. The officers assume the driver will brake at the last second, or that the crash will be unavoidable, but the impossible happens. The vehicle doesn't crash, it doesn't stop, it simply passes through the fence and disappears on the other side, as if the barrier weren't even there. The patrol car arrives just moments later. The fence is completely intact, no dents, no cuts, no sign that anything ever touched it. Officers scan the perimeter, check both sides, and find no tire marks, no footprints, not even an alternate path where the suspect could have escaped. In a matter of seconds, a solid physical vehicle appeared to move through solid matter and vanish. Number 6. A chaotic night awash in red and blue lights, crowds recording from every angle, and police sealing off an entire city block. Witnesses all reported the same thing: a large figure moving near a shopping center, slipping through the shadows as if deliberately avoiding the light. Officers locked down the parking lot, and that's when phones captured it. Something crouched behind a barrier. Its outline shifted from frame to frame, almost translucent, like it wasn't fully part of this world. Those who saw it swear its eyes reflected an unnatural blue glow under the floodlights. Show short clip. Authorities dismissed the entire event as a false alarm. No official footage, no follow-up statements. But every witness described the same tall humanoid shape. And the silence that followed only deepened the fear that something truly stepped onto the streets that night. Number 5. In a dark, isolated valley, an officer decides to record what locals have been reporting for weeks. The cries and wails of a woman echoing from deep within the night.
Señores, nos encontramos aquí, siendo las 4 de la mañana, en el mar. No sé si pueden escuchar, se escuchan unos gritos. ¿O por qué esa vaina?
The officer moves cautiously. Only the wind against the hills can be heard, until suddenly a long, broken scream tears through the silence. He raises the camera toward the darkness, trying to stay composed as his breathing grows tighter. Another scream. Closer, more desperate. The officer speaks softly, asking if anyone needs help, but there's no human response. Only an echo bouncing off the rocks as if the voice came from everywhere at once.
En el mar. No sé si pueden escuchar, se escuchan unos gritos. ¿O por qué esa vaina?
Number 4. 2 officers respond to a late-night call. A woman claims she's been hearing screams coming from the open fields. As they step out of the patrol car, the darkness feels alive, as if the air itself were shifting. Then it hits. A metallic scream slices through the night, something halfway between a human voice and a machine. The body cam shakes, the flashlight flickers. The officers instinctively retreat, running back toward their vehicle, as the sound echoes across the empty fields. Minutes later, back at the station, the audio files from the encounter vanish from the police database. No corruption warning, no trace, no explanation. If that scream didn't come from a person, Who made sure the evidence disappeared? Number 3. During a nighttime operation, 5 officers moved through a wooded area, their flashlights cutting thin paths through the darkness. Everything was silent until they saw her. A woman dressed in white, long black hair covering part of her face, sitting perfectly still in the middle of the forest floor. She didn't react to the officer's presence. She didn't move. She didn't speak. The body cams captured every second. The hesitant steps, the trembling voices, and the chilling stillness of the figure in front of them. One officer whispered that it looked like La Llorona. Another urged the group to keep a safe distance. None of them dared get too close. For several long moments that the woman remained motionless, as if listening, as if waiting. Then, without warning, she stood up and slipped deeper into the trees, not running, not walking normally, but drifting just beyond the edge of their lights. The officers followed only briefly before retreating, realizing they had no idea what or who they had just encountered in that forest. Number 2. On a remote Saskatchewan highway, wrapped in the silence of the Canadian wilderness, a police cruiser drives through a stretch of road, swallowed by darkness. Nothing moves, nothing breathes, until the dash cam catches something. The high beams reveal a towering figure walking along the tree line, massive, upright, and impossibly tall. Its outline is thick and shaggy, moving with a slow, deliberate stride, as if the night itself were its natural habitat. It doesn't flinch at the approaching vehicle. It doesn't look back. It just keeps walking, utterly indifferent to the officer watching in stunned silence. Then, with a single fluid motion, the figure steps off the asphalt and slips into the dense black forest, vanishing between the trees as though swallowed by them. The footage is official. The witness is a trained officer, and the shape captured on camera is no bear, no shadow, no optical trick. Why was it out there? Where was it going in the dead of night? The encounter lasts only seconds, but its meaning lingers like a warning from the wild. We are not alone out there.
I don't even know. Massive subject walking the shoulder. Looks like a large male. Unit 30, I'm on County Road 9 northbound. You copy this?
Go ahead, 30.
I've got, I don't even know. Massive subject walking the shoulder. Looks like a large male.
Number 1. In the dead of night, a police cruiser approaches an old bridge, a narrow, isolated crossing surrounded by thick vegetation. Everything is quiet until the dash cam catches movement at the far end. A mysterious figure stands there, human-sized but entirely covered in thick orange fur that glows faintly under the headlights. Its posture is tense, almost cautious, as if it hadn't expected anyone to find it. For a brief moment, the creature freezes, staring toward the approaching patrol car. Then, slowly, almost timidly, it backs away from the bridge. The dash cam records every step as it slips into the bushes, pushing through branches with deliberate, nervous movements, as though trying to hide without making a sound. Its behavior is the strangest part. No aggression, no sudden rush, just fear. Clear, visible fear. From something that should not be there at all. Moments later, the creature disappears completely, between the trees and undergrowth, leaving nothing but the rustle of leaves, and the officer's stunned silence. To this day, no one has identified what was filmed on that bridge, but the body structure, the fur, and the way it moved don't match any known animal in the region. Bonus. Captured from an elevated vantage point, this image shows a tense standoff unfolding in the middle of a street. Several police officers form a tight perimeter, all aiming their weapons at a single figure positioned at the center of the road. The figure itself is crouched low, its posture defensive, almost protective, with its arms wrapped partially around its body. Its surface appears rigid and textured, resembling stone or metal. It has wings folded behind its back, elongated limbs, and pointed features on its head, giving it a distinctly non-human silhouette. The officers surrounding it stand with firm stances, creating a full circle around the figure, indicating that whatever is in front of them has their complete attention and caution. No one seems to be moving, The creature, statue-like in form, remains completely still. The officers maintain their aim, prepared for any reaction. In the corner of the image, a bright yellow and red insignia is visible, though its connection to the scene is unclear from the photograph alone. The moment captured here is frozen in tension, a silent confrontation between trained officers, and a figure whose appearance does not resemble any known person or animal visible within the frame.